It's my pleasure to welcome back to the program. Supposed to be fighting tomorrow night for the Score Fighting Series in Hamilton, Ontario. But just talking to Will Romero off the air, he tells me his opponent, David Douglas, coming in overweight. The fight is now off. Will, thanks for joining us, man. This is bad news.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and not very happy right now.
So take us through what happened. What did David Douglas weigh in at the first time, and how did all that go down?
So the fight's at featherweight. It's at 146 limit tops. I showed up mid-weight, 145.8. And he came. Actually, he was late. First of all, he wasn't even there on time. I weighed in on my own, and then the 3 or more fights went through, and then he showed up, and he weighed in at 150.4.
Wow.
So they gave him an hour to, of course, try to make weight. We knew that he wasn't going to come close. We knew that he'd hopefully, lose 2-3 pounds, that he'd try, and we have a fight, and then he came in and he lost 0.4 an hour later, and that's what happened. And then while we waited for the hour, the commission said if he doesn't make it in the 40s, then the fight won't happen, because Ontario's pretty strict, and we feared that would happen. But they after that they still said they'll allow us to fight if we want to fight.
Right.
And, I wanted to fight, but I came in, I did my job, I moved, I did everything that I was supposed to do to take this fight. I'm in the best shape of my life. I did so many things right this camp, and moved from my my home province, whatever, and and I was so pumped and whatever, and then I have good people around me that told me that it's not wise. This is his first fight coming down to try to make 45. He's a big 55er to start off with, and he came in huge. Like it looked like he didn't even try. This guy wasn't even serious. He wasted a lot of people's time, and well, what can you do? I wish it was different.
I mean, that's one of the worst things that can happen to a fighter when you're preparing for a fight, and then the fight doesn't happen. You were telling me a little bit off the air, was your manager that told you, not to take this fight? It just didn't make sense with the guy coming in so big and overweight. Was it a tough conversation? Did it take some convincing for your manager to say, look, you're not fighting this? Or once he gave the word, you said, all right, you know what's best?
Yeah, well, it was my coach.
Okay.
He used to be my manager. He's now my coach. My manager now is Mitch Mayberger out in Montreal, Quebec. And
right.
This was my coach, Alain Halmagian, and he was my manager for years. And he's been my first coach, since the start. And then we have a really tight bond. And when he came up to me, I said, so what are we doing? I'll fight this guy. I don't care, And he's like, listen, man. He goes, I don't care. We're not fighting. He's a 55er. He's got a massive weight advantage on you. He's going to wear you down just with his weight and, try to grind out a win or whatever. It's not a smart move. This is your career. You got to make the right move. And I said, bro, I don't want it to be like I don't want to fight him. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
He's like, it's not going to be like that, And
yeah.
It takes some convincing. I have so many people coming. I have sponsors. I have people that supported me. And I was going to be live on The Score. First time that The Score is going live. This was huge for me. It was so weird because the way everything played out, it was like God put everything in place for me because it was made to be this way. I was in TriStar, I had a great camp, great training partners. I've never felt so strong. My diet was the best it's ever been, and my conditioning, everything was. My fight shorts, my fight shirt, as weird as that may seem, everything was just so right. It was so right, and it felt so right. Everybody's telling me after while I was coming with it, man, you've never looked so strong. My attitude, my demeanor, I was happy, I was positive. When you're cutting weight, you're pissed, you're mad, and I was not like that this time. For the first time ever, it was just so right. It was just so right, and this fight was going to be just the way I was going to close off the chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but Lynn looked at me, my coach, and he gave me that look. He said, "I don't give a shit." He goes, "You're like a son to me." He goes, "I'm telling you, don't take this fight." And I just had to, take his word for it and take everybody else's word that's been supporting me. And I'm so happy that I have, through Facebook and Twitter, that I've been having so much support from people. It's making me feel better because, in a way, in a weird way, I just feel like I could have fought him but you're not fighting him. Like, you know what I mean? But like, at the end of the day, it is my career. I'm 30 years old. I'm not 20. It's not an amateur career. This is a professional. If I lose because this guy, you know, at the end of the day, listen, he's a dangerous guy. He's got power. Now, I'm not a strong wrestler or a strong grappler. If this guy takes me down, I'm gonna, you know, he's gonna give me a hard time to let me get up. You know what I mean? He's got a major advantage by having that much weight advantage on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not here to fight an unfair fight. I'm here to fight a fair fight. And, you know, if he's there to follow the rules and what we agreed on, and you know what? Hey, man, shit happens. If you're going to miss 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds tops, I get it. But, man, when you're 5 pounds over like that and 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds, whatever, nah, man, like, you didn't even try. You're not serious. You know, you wasted a lot of people's time, and he should be ashamed. And, you know, and he was ashamed. I kind of felt bad for him. But because, you know what, he's going to go home now and he's got to face his teammates and his coaches. And that's what I knew when I looked at his face. When he was ashamed, I honestly felt bad for him because I knew that, you know what, now you got to go. You represent Cesar Gracie. You know, that's the camp you're representing. They're in there with these shirts on, and that's who they're representing. When he goes back, he's going to have to face that man and look him in the face.
Wow.
And I guarantee you that man's not going to be very proud.
Yeah, imagine going back, see Nick Diaz, and it's like, Nick, I didn't make weight.
Yeah, like, oh, what happened? What happened? Like, what, a pound or two? No, you know, like 5 pounds, 4.5 pounds.
Wow.
You're a joke.
That's crazy. I mean, that's just absolutely nuts. Did he say anything to you? Did he apologize? Anything?
He couldn't even look at anybody. He had his hands. He was lying down on some chairs with his hands in his face. Like he was ashamed. Like, I wanted to kill him.
Yeah, for sure. But then you felt bad for him, right? So.
Yeah, because I realized, like, buddy, like, I feel you because you're gonna go back and you have to be a man and face these people, and they're gonna let you know exactly what they think of you.